why can't it be a smooth process and easily?
It should be a
And
smooth
just to add,
process.
Leanne, sorry, what on what Sia is saying, I mean, isn't it the government is benefiting from all these developments? But yet
Absolutely.
again, the delays also comes from
Because we are adding infrastructure that is private money. We are upgrading the old municipality line that is private money.
So, very simply, full title means you've bought a piece of land, okay, and you get a title deed for that piece of land, and then you build your house. So you have the full title right to that piece of land. And if you do that in a development, we call that a cluster development, and it's managed by a homeowners association, okay, which also has its own rules and regulations.
What is a homeowners association?
Homeowners association is the governing body.
Siyabonga Makhamba from EN Property Development. This is your property talk show brought to you by Ekasi Noble Properties. On my side, I have here Sispasi, and then today we have a special guest. It's Leanne. Leanne, how are you?
I'm well, and you? Thank you.
Are you well? Good.
Hello, Leanne. How are you? Hello, everybody. My name is Mapeseka from Ekasi Noble Properties. We welcome you today onto today's episode. Like Sia said, we talk everything property. How are you, Leanne?
I'm good, thank you, and thank you for welcoming me to your property talk show.
Thank you, Lee. Many reasons why we have you here is because of your experience in the property field, and we just want to educate more. But firstly, who is Lee? What does Lee specialize on? Because that's what we are more interested on.
Okay, so Lee has been in property development for 24 years. Yes. Property is a passion. I say that to everybody.
Some of us are 24 years in this room. I'm joking.
That's true, eh?
No, property is an absolute passion for me. I love property development. I trained as a real estate agent in the very early 90s. But my passion is not selling existing property. My passion is what you guys are doing, which is why I found such a good synergy with you, is the raw land and develop it. Zone it, design it, build it. That's the passion.
Wow. And it's crazy because most people actually think property is the end product where you see the nice glitz and clam, only to find out that there's still the rawness part of it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing and working with you to see exactly how this thing works and educating more people out there as well to say that property is not just an end product. There's actually processes behind everything else. So how was the journey for you when you started?
It was very scary at the time.
Okay.
I had to fill in at a development under very short notice, and I knew nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing. But I had a very good mentor who taught me everything I needed to know. And from there, I just grew with the company. And if you just sit and listen and you pay attention and you're willing to learn from the experts in the property field, knowledge becomes power.
Absolutely.
Absolute power.
Because I think we also learn every day. There's new things that we learn.
Correct.
Eh? No, that's interesting.
That is greatly. Because as Pastor was saying that most of us, when you speak about the property career, you are talking about being in real estate agents, and that ends there. But along our journey as property developers, we saw that being a real estate agent is actually the last puzzle. It's actually the last piece of the puzzle because there's a whole lot of things to be done, like your rezoning. Once rezoning is done, you need to comply and register to all major banks, and they need to approve before one can now say, okay, look, now we are ready to go on the market. So for a person who is sitting at home, what advice or what route can they take in sorry man, what is the professional called? Like, I want to know, what is the name of the career?
So they call us property professionals. In the old days, I'm going to say the old days, when I registered, we were real estate agents. And they do still call them real estate agents. But residential development property is very different. And I know there's lots of people out there who would disagree with me.
Yes.
To walk into a home that's already built is very easy. People can see it. This industry is slightly different because you're selling a vision. You're selling a dream. You're selling something that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
It's a piece of paper. So you need to be able to take that flat image and describe it and actually get your client to understand that this thing is going to exist because you're selling a dream.
Yeah. Hey?
And anybody can get into property. It's really not hard. But I think if you want to do what we do as a team, you need to have a passion for it.
Absolutely.
And you need to be able to visualize what you're selling because you've got to explain that this flat piece of paper is actually going to be a home at the end of the day with walls and a roof and furniture. Absolutely. And there's lots of technology to help you do that. But your clients don't always understand that technology in those images either.
Exactly.
So it's interesting and it's daunting. And it does have a different legal aspect to selling. There are a lot of rules that govern us. For example, the CPA. It's great to put a pretty image out there, but you need to classify that pretty image before it's built is an artist impression. Because clients will see an image and they'll go, right, my house must look like that. If we haven't classified legally that it's just an artist impression, it's just an image, it is going to come back and become a problem for you.
Nice.
So you've got to be very careful what you portray is actually what you're giving the clients at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, that is interesting. So in terms of the road developments that you've done, is there like some of the big names that you've worked with? Maybe would you like to share?
I've worked with some very, very big names in the industry. I've done some different developments. I've been involved in selling just land, selling land with building packages, retirement villages, which are governed by a whole different set of rules. You've got the Old Persons Act. You've got the Retirement Act.
Imagine.
It's sectional title. So I've done all of that.
So what we're doing here is nothing in terms
done-
of the residential.
No, it's. I would never say it's nothing. It's different.
It's different. I wanted to say that. Yeah.
I just wanna bring a problem that I'm currently having with our African community, where they don't have any information about what is a sectional development, what is a full title
Retirement
development.
village. I mean,
Like now on our other estate, which is it's in Green Hills, Nala Estate, it's a full sectional development. And we are having a problem of that we are not fully enough educated about how the sectional rules are. And it's like we are making our own rules, but there are rules that we also need to follow. Like many, because in our African society, you are told that if you are owning a piece of land, before you can build, you must have a title deed. And then in a sectional estate, it's a total different scenario where you at least need to build to the window level before you can get any title deed. Do you wanna maybe give us a little education on rules of sectional titles and full titles?
So very simply, full title means you've bought a piece of land, okay, and you get a title deed for that piece of land, and then you build your house. So you have the full title right to that piece of land. And if you do that in a development, we call that a cluster development, and it's managed by a homeowners association, okay. which also has its own rules and regulations.
What is a homeowners association?
Homeowners Association is the governing body that will manage that estate, that cluster estate. So you buy a piece of land in a cluster development, you become one of the homeowners in that association.
So meaning even if I paid cash, because we believe cash is king.
Absolutely.
And I make the rules, then I can just paint my house pink tomorrow.
You can't. Because your homeowners association has its rules which govern conduct, pets, how the common area is going to be kept, but it also will have a set of what we call architectural guidelines. So that will monitor what the development must look like. If you have a development that allows everybody to do whatever they want and it doesn't fit within a guideline, you're actually negatively impacting your neighbor's properties.
Absolutely.
And their value as well. I mean, can you imagine you've built this beautiful home, you've painted it, let's say a light grey outside, and your neighbor paints his house purple.
And I think in the townships, actually, that is what is happening, you know.
Exactly.
I've seen a lot of developments currently, when they advertise them, the developers would say it's going to be an estate, only to find out that they give them the full title. Then eventually the neighbor builds, you know, like multiple rooms, and they just change everything to become something different. What does it do to the homeowners association? Because obviously it then changes everything. It's no longer that.
Absolutely, but you see, the
there?
thing is, if the homeowners association is not established correctly and the guidelines are not in place, people are going to do what they want.
Sure.
And everybody says, it's mine. I bought this piece of land. But you're negatively impacting your property value from a resale perspective and your neighbors.
Because even with the maintenance and the security
Absolutely.
and stuff, I think the homeowners association actually helps with that to be in place, so that people could have the safety, the security, and obviously the maintenance of the estate and stuff.
It's very, very important.
That's
It's not like going down the road, for example, where we are now in Robin Park, and buying the house next door, for example. That's a full title freehold property. It's not in an estate. You can do what you want. Estate living is not for everybody because there's rules and regulations.
That's true.
But it gives you a sense of security, and it also helps you with certain maintenance elements. So there's benefits and there's drawbacks.
No, that is great. I think you were still explaining the difference between the full title and the sectional titles.
So sectional title basically means, let's say you've bought into a development where there are going to be 25 homes.
Yes.
Okay. Those 25 homes are all built on a portion of land. You only own the section that has been constructed. So your house is built on a piece of land which is classified as common area. I always explain it to everybody. Once the house is built, if you take the roof off and you turn it upside down, everything that falls out is yours.
Yeah.
Okay. And you own a section which goes halfway through the wall, halfway through the floor, and halfway through the ceiling.
Nothing on the ground.
Nothing on the ground.
Wow.
Everything else is owned by the body corporate that also owns the common area. The body corporate is responsible for all the exterior maintenance.
Nice, eh?
It's responsible in the levies to get building insurance. So you're responsible for what you carry in through the front door. The body corporate's responsible to insure the structure. If the building burns down, the body corporate's insurance rebuilds it. You don't have to worry about that.
Oh, that's great.
The body corporate's responsible for the geysers. And they're responsible for common
Because
upkeep.
they're outside.
Because it's outside.
Oh, that's
Even if it's
nice.
inside, even if it's in the ceiling, it's insured by the body corporate.
Sure. You know, Leanne, with regards to growing in the townships, all these things did not matter. It's actually not my first time because obviously personally I've been in the industry for more than 5 years. But for someone that's growing up in the township, those words don't exist.
Yeah.
So what would you encourage somebody that wants to move from the township into an estate life? What would you say to them?
Decide where you want to live and what you actually want. Are you happy to live in a sectional title development where Your only maintenance and only concerns is what happens inside. I think we must remember it is very difficult and very expensive to maintain property.
But I think
Very
it's
difficult.
better because it comes with all the benefits. right?
Exactly.
And I think
Exactly.
and I think these benefits, they don't explain them. When they say sectional, you don't own the land, you only own your house, we run away.
Remember, because you're buying sectional title doesn't mean you don't get a title deed.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the house is built. So let's say you're moving into one that's 25 and your section is section 1 or unit 1. You will get a title deed registered in your name for unit 1.
But
You get your
after
title
build,
deed. It has to be built because we have to measure it. We have to open what we call a sectional plan with the Surveyor General's office, which will then demarcate your space, your house, and the size of it. You get a title deed.
Nice, eh?
So the same title deed you would get for a piece of land to build your own house, you get a title deed for your section.
But it's just different rules and
Just
regulations.
slightly different rules.
but
Slightly different rules.
basically all the same.
It's all the same.
So what's the difference between the body corporates and the homeowners association?
So Homeowners Association is a registered company. So it would be a PTY limited company. It's a non-profit. Okay. It runs with the same sort of management rules and governing bodies. It will calculate its levies. It will charge the owner's levy. A body corporate doesn't have to be a registered company, and it's registered with the opening of the sectional title register by the transferring attorney. But it still has to have rules. It
Yes.
still has to charge levies. But it's governed by what we call the Sectional Titles Act, which is a gazetted act.
So in a new development like ours, I think even here in Robin Park, there's a body corporate
It's mixed.
and there's going to be a homeowners.
Correct.
How do you then merge the two into one?
So your homeowners association has your registered company. So that would be your presiding governing body. The body corporate would have its own rules, okay, for the sectional title stuff. But the homeowners association will charge the body corporate a levy. So the owners will each pay a body corporate levy, and that would go into the homeowners association, and they would then manage it.
Eventually they work together.
They would work together completely. So we would have architectural guidelines here of what the houses must look like, and they need to be the same guidelines as the body corporate. Because remember, you don't want one of your homeowners to paint his house purple and pink when your sectional titles are grey,
Is it?
because it's going to affect the value of the properties. And you want everything to be aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, of course.
You want people to drive through the gate and go, this is really nice. I like what it looks like. I like the feel. I'll be happy to live here.
Very much. So, what is good on living in a regulated area, or just having a stand where everyone can just do as how they want?
I think there's pros and cons for both of them. You know, I think in today's society, we have a lot of young professionals. We have a lot of young families or families where one of the spouses works away or travels a lot. And I think we need to consider security.
Absolutely.
And security in a freestanding home is difficult. Where in an estate you have security. You also have neighbors. You're building a community. If you live on your own in your own home, you may never know your neighbors.
That's true.
If you live in an estate, whether it's an HOA estate or a body corporate estate, you're building a sense of community. People know each other. People look out for each other. And it just gives you a sense of,
Yeah.
I like to call it a sense of family.
I think that is great because I think with regards to these meetings, what are they all about? I don't know what they call it, general meetings, something. From
yeah.
the townships, we've never had those. We only have the meeting study block,
Yeah.
When the sewer is blocked, when there's no electricity.
Yeah, and we want to strike. That's the only time we would have those general meetings or when there's a funeral. But which is great also because there's also that sense of the family and the community because obviously you would know what's happening to your neighbor from where I grew up. So obviously there is still that sense of living in the sense of community. But Why is it different compared to the estate living?
So your estates with an HOA or a BC, you have what we call your inaugural general meeting. So that's your very, very first meeting once the units are registered. And that meeting is to introduce everybody to each other. And you either need to appoint your directors for an HOA or you appoint your trustees.
Why
and
don't
that's-
we have such in the townships? You know, like there's a new development, and I don't think they do have those meetings in the townships.
Well, you actually have to. Because that's what the gazetted laws tell us to do.
Do you think they have them here?
No,
Glen,
I don't think there is like
from in the townships.
yeah.
It's different.
So I think us doing more education it's very quite important.
Yeah.
Because trust me, if we can say people that they must comment, who fully knows how does the sectional title work, and what is the homeowners association.
People would be blank.
We are definitely gonna be blank. We are definitely going to fail. But now, that is why the townships are not developing. It is not that they cannot be developed, but there are no rules in places. I mean, there is a house somewhere in Soweto. It's a double story. It's beautiful. Has been on sale for the past 5 years because the next door neighbor is just a shack. So the value is already out. And then also the second problem of that house, we on our last episode we were speaking with AV from Civil. People not doing the structural engineers design
all the
structure.
processes,
They don't follow
It's difficult.
the whole process. And then when now you want to sell, the
problem.
bank says, no, I don't recognize this house.
And
See,
another
that's the
big problem is that they don't pay electricity, they don't pay water, they don't pay security, they don't pay maintenance. So maybe that's why it's just a whole lot of. But I guess as a person growing up from there, you get used to that. And I'm just happy with Ekasi Noble Properties, what they're doing, because we're educating people and we're actually teaching them to understand the estate living. Because as someone who grew up in the township, when I go to stay in an estate and I'm used to not paying water and electricity, it becomes a problem because now the bill will be up. So what happens, Vele, when that happens?
So if you're in a sectional title development, generally there's one bulk water meter, okay, and the body corporate will read everybody's meters and they will charge you for water. Unless the developers put prepaid water in and prepaid electricity. Otherwise it gets read and you have to pay that on your levy account every month. Sure. And there are some developments where the body corporates have just said no more. Everybody's paying their levy, but they're not paying their electricity and they're not paying their water.
Sure.
The body corporate still needs to pay that account every month.
So now
Or the whole complex gets cut off. So now what some complexes have started doing is saying, okay, you haven't paid your electricity and water. You will now fit a prepaid meter and you will fit a water meter and we will have it fitted and you will pay for it because it impacts it. It impacts the body corporate's levies. We need to remember the body corporate needs to build up a bank account because it needs to maintain things, needs to pay security, needs to do paving, it needs to maintain the gardens. And it cannot do that if levies don't get paid.
Oh, that's interesting because I've seen on social media some property, gurus and stuff, they would literally encourage people not to either stay in the estate or they must ask for the bank statement or the financials of the estate. I, before got into property, I didn't know that. But now it makes sense that you're explaining it. But maybe give us more clarity on why is
so
that
if
important.
you're going to buy into an existing homeowners association or a sectional title, there is absolutely nothing wrong with saying to the agent, please can I see the latest financials? Please can I see the latest minutes? Because by those you'll be able to see, has this estate been run correctly? Is there money in the bank account? Does the body corporate have its 5-year maintenance plan? You have to have a 5-year maintenance plan.
If not, meaning it's definitely a no-no for you
There's
to
a
buy.
problem.
Yeah, because Nobody's managed it
But
properly.
how I'm gonna learn that, Lee? Because what is important is a bank approval that where
Yeah.
I'm going or
And what if you love the area, you know? I mean, it's close to my workplace. So,
I think you hit the nail on the head earlier when you said education is key. It's extremely, extremely important.
sure.
And there isn't a lot of education. And in the industry, people don't always want to continue educating.
Yeah. eh?
I'm currently studying again in the property field. I've done qualifications, but I decided let's do another one because there's so much stuff still to learn.
after this 24 years experience,
I'm still wanting to
still
learn.
adding and wanting
Absolutely.
to learn.
I make sure when changes to the Sectional Titles Act come out that I get them, that I read them, that I understand them, because it's important because things change.
Yeah,
You must not stuck
now
to be the
there's-
old law.
Exactly. Like now there's PPRA, there's a lot of
Exactly.
things that have changed and
And the PPRA keeps changing codes of conduct. It's important to stay abreast of it. You know, people think, oh, I've done this for 5 years, there's nothing new to learn. There's always something new to learn. There's new building technologies. There's different ways to do things. There's new materials. The SANS 10400, for example, came out probably 10 or 15 years ago, which talks about window sizes and glazing and insulation and everything to make the homes more energy efficient. And there's so many different ways to do that.
And now everyone is also going green.
Well,
so
that's the
you
other
also
thing.
need to learn that.
Yes.
Okay, no, it's great having you, Lee. Very great. So I would love for Abantu who are at home, subscribe to our channel, which is the Property Talk Show, brought to you by Ekasi Noble Properties. If you have any boiling question or anything, just leave a comment below. Lee, thank you very much. But just to summarize, I'm sure most of the parts of Johannesburg have literally developed just right in front of your eyes. Where do you think in development we are heading with our government? You know, with government, things delay and what. Do you literally think that fully privatizing development rules, or should we stick on what is currently happening now?
I think there are a lot of changes that are required.
Why I'm saying that, Lee, look at Dubai, 1992,
Absolutely.
on their first construction. Look at them today, because the developing of the country is being privatized. Government does play a big role because they are the ones who are putting funding. But why should South Africa be delayed a bit on development rules? Why are they so difficult? Why can't it take a week or 2 weeks or 3 months maximum, then heading for it to take 3 years,
That's a good
and then
one.
after 3 years it takes another year, and you literally lose investors, because when I put my million, I want to see things now. But now having for you to go look for the right objections,
yeah.
why can't it be a smooth process and easily?
It should be a smooth
And just
process.
to add, Lee, and sorry, ne, what on what Sia is saying, I mean, isn't it the government is benefiting from all these developments? But
Absolutely.
yet again, the delays also comes from there.
Because we are adding infrastructure. That is private money. We are upgrading the old municipality line. That is private money. And then if we are building an estate with 100 homes, those 100 homes, they need to go register at the municipality. That is more money for them. And then the biggest question is that why delay such progress and growth for South Africa?
Yeah.
I mean, at least residential is not that bad. Just imagine a mall.
It's a very good question, and I think it's a question that bothers all the developers. Everything takes too long, and there's actually in my mind, no reason for it, because the council has its rules. It's done its spatial planning for the development. We know what the rules are. We know what they're going to allow in this area or in that area. there's actually no reason for the delays. But things are very difficult, and I'm not sure, and I've been in some of the council buildings, I've walked the floors, I've climbed the stairs, trying to get approvals that literally shouldn't take longer than a week or two. Building plan approval, for example, should be a quick process. We all know what we must submit. We know what the documents are. We know what the fees are.
The whole rule.
We follow the rules, everything.
Exactly. You go there with your pack, you pay it, it should come out quickly. So I'm not sure where the red tape is, but the delays, in my opinion, are unnecessary. And I'm not sure whether it's because developers don't want to get involved with what the processes are because they've got their own struggles, or whether there's resistance to bringing private individuals in to help smooth up the processes.
I think things are about to change though. I read yesterday that Helen Zille is gonna be the mayor of City of Johannesburg. Yeah.
I
Is that
believe
the
so.
truth?
I heard that on the news this morning. So let's see
Yeah,
where
so
that
I think
goes.
it's great, and I think it's dividing the nation. I don't want to get into politics, but I'm just thinking that maybe there might be a lot of changes. But obviously, some people think that no. But anyway, it's just one of those things. But just to answer Sia, maybe some departments or municipalities will move because obviously there's other people, new people that have done these things for years, and maybe there's gonna be change.
I think our government needs to give the young blood a chance.
Yes, and the young blood that has different ideas and that is a little bit more innovative.
Yes, on planning.
Well, Helen Zille is 74 years old.
Yeah, also that is wrong because now
I see.
no, what I'm just trying to
Young
say
Sugel.
is that let us give these new minds a chance.
Yeah, it could be possible.
We literally know we have to be guided by the old rules, but just try to squeeze in the new, fresh minds so that they can move quickly, and also to keep the old experience, especially on the rezoning part of side. I think if our government can focus more on those departments, on how to implement them, how to hire more young youth so that the elderly can teach the new youth this is how they should run the offices. If maybe our government can focus more on the development side of it, because it is not that we go look for funding to them, but all we want is to get those rights in time, so that we can bring the funding from outside and develop South Africa. I mean, if you are building an estate with 1,000 units, how many jobs there?
Yeah.
And the issue of accommodation, you are actually making it easier because also as the Ekasi Development Group, what we wanted is to give something affordable at a very good rate. So Lee, before I let you go, you have joined the Ekasi Noble Group. How has been your experience, and what does the future looks like before I let you go? And then at home, make sure you subscribe, you comment, you tell us what you want to hear from us. But we are talking property. We are talking property. We are talking generational wealth. I mean, this is not the podcast where we are all going to be laughing and saying, yeah, but this is a podcast where we're going to be taking our book and the paper and writing down notes, because the main thing here is to give education. I mean, here, to me, it's free consultations, because if you want to meet these people in your private capacity, you need to pay a lot of money. So with you watching here and making sure you subscribe, you share, you comment, it actually gives us motivation to what we are doing, meaning it is correctly. How has it been your journey, Lee? Just imagine us, we don't have understanding. There is a Zulu saying that says, we are like Thomas, we believe on what we see. If the orange is here, we wanna see it now.
They don't believe in
So
more
now you
developments, yeah.
having to sell me a paper, a dream.
It's a problem.
How has been your journey so far?
My journey with Ekasi in the last couple of months has been very exciting. I love your vision. I love what you're trying to achieve with the communities and to make housing affordable. Housing is expensive. It's very, very expensive. And to be able to do what you're doing is fantastic. I was at your 5-year celebration earlier in the year.
Yes.
And I think I said to you then, here's to another 5 years and another 5 years thereafter and thereafter. Because I think the concept that you've got is really clever. Yes, it's not what everybody else does, and it's coming with its challenges. But there isn't a challenge that we cannot overcome.
Absolutely.
We just need to understand it's going to be a little harder. But everything in life that's hard is worth doing.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know what I love about us is the commercialized part of it. Because like you're saying, the previous 5 years, yes, we were more focused on achieving all these difficult, but now that we know better and now that we are within, literally, obviously now we're selling full packages. We're selling complete houses. About Thomas, now they can see what we are doing,
Yes.
which is great. So I love the fact that we grew also into this. And I think also it's our passion to, build something from scratch so that it could be the end final product. So thank you so much, Lee.
You're welcome.
Just before we go, how many units were the highest that you've developed in your past experience?
Oh, my goodness. I think the retirement village, when I left there, we'd done about 150 homes.
Okay.
We did 30 apartments. I did a golf estate
Nice.
on the Vaal River. So I think in total, I've probably in the last 24 years developed in excess of 500 or 600 properties.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for growing South Africa.
Yes.
Because also, as much as other people are important, doctors and everyone, developers are important because
Housing is
important because everyone who goes at work, they want to have a home. Thank you, Lee. Make sure you subscribe on Property Talk Show, brought to you by Ekasi Noble Properties. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.